Well, hello, Helen and Dorothy in the villages. Good morning. Welcome to our first ever session of chair yoga uh, on the digital form, anyway. And we just welcome all of you who are going to join in live, and also those of you who will join later on the various feeds, YouTube and Facebook and all of that. We're just glad that you can join us, and our hope is that this is a restorative, life-giving, spiritually grounding time for you. So, in response to many requests of some of those posture, I know I break a sweat sometimes doing our regular yoga practice, and some of those postures are pretty difficult. And I'm semi young, not really. I'm now moving toward being an old person myself, but so I know the level of difficulty. So, what an awesome opportunity we have to do some chair yoga together. So just have a nice, comfortable, some comfy clothes, a chair, and Karen's going to lead us through this time. I'm going to quickly just offer a little devotional from the Christian scriptures, and we know that everybody that joins with us is not Christian, and that's fine. This is the spiritual path that I've chosen to be a follower of Jesus, and I try to learn from all the various religious traditions. But this happens to be um, the one that I find connection with the living God. And so I'm looking today at in the Christian Bible, the Gospel of John in the 6th chapter and the 18th chapter, and just a little bit of a personal kind of thing. It's been a really stressful week. We have lots of people in our relational network that are testing positive for COVID, lost some friends to the virus over the last couple of weeks, and our young adult children who are um, healthcare workers working in hospitals have also been exposed, and we've got kids waiting for test results and all kind of things. So it's been a stressful week. I know it's stressful for all of us. It's a time of high anxiety, particularly those of you that are joining in Florida and other states where there's really an increase in the virus. And I just found some comfort in the heart and the orientation of Jesus. Um, And so he, in the 6th chapter of the Gospel of John, he's talking about being the bread of life. And people who he was speaking to would know in their tradition about this bread that came down from heaven when they were in a time of kind of exile and wilderness wandering in the Exodus. God provided bread from heaven, and Jesus is saying he's the bread of heaven, that his living self, his presence, that we can feast upon that bread of heaven. We can be filled with his life. And in that little teaching that he's given, he says that it's my Father's will that I not lose anyone, none of these that he has given me. And then in the quickly jump over to the one of the last chapters in John's Gospel, 18. Jesus is in the garden, and he's in prayer, and he knows he's going to the cross. And many times when we have pressure, anxiety, what's inside of us comes out, right? Whether that's good or bad or ugly. And Jesus is going through this really stressful, high anxiety time of being arrested, taken to the cross. And his posture in the middle of that is to get silent and to pray and to tell the disciples to pray with him. And then they fall asleep and such. But then when he's arrested, and he's being taken away, they come with armed guards, and he says that this is the fulfillment of what was spoken, that I have not lost one of these that you gave me. And so even in his greatest moments of agony and anxiety, his heart is other oriented. He's thinking about these disciples that he loves and he cares about and he's shepherded, and he's thinking about them and giving himself for them. And I just think that, pastors and people that have authority over management positions and such in the world today, we're in kind of a crucible, right? Where you got people on one side saying, I want to get back to work. I want to get back to normal, and then you got other people saying, I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back to church. It's dangerous. People are getting this virus. and then having to live in between that. And there's a lot of tension and fear and anxiety. And I hope that each one of us can say over our families, or our co-workers, or our congregations, our churches, that we can say and have this orientation of Jesus' heart, that his heart was to care and to not lose anyone and to bring them along, and that we can say that same thing to our Father. Father, we've not lost any that you've given us, and we would have that same kind of orientation of love toward others. So in this time of chair yoga today, I'm hopeful to kind of still myself, center myself, feast on the bread of heaven, the presence of God, and to really get peace within my own soul, so that that's what I can share with others and that love with others too. So I'm so thankful for Karen today, who's going to lead us during this time, and thank you everybody who's joined us.
All right, well, welcome to Chair Yoga. I'm so glad you were able to join us today. Just a couple of things to go over about chair yoga. A lot of times the reason someone is doing chair yoga is either they've had some kind of injury, whether it's the knees, the hips, the ankles, the back. I mean, we all have had injuries in our lives, and sometimes they prevent us from actually being able to go down to the floor and getting back up easily. So with that, it's important that you still protect your body, most of all your back. So it's important that you sit really tall in your chair. You can take a pillow. I have a pillow that sometimes I'll put behind me so that I remember to come to the edge of my chair. A lot of the work in chair yoga is at the edge of the chair so that you can sit taller. It's also important to keep your ankles under your knees. So your alignment of your body is very important in chair yoga, so that you can protect your body, because you can still feel awkwardness or pain if you're not careful, even though it is a chair yoga practice. The other thing that's really important is that your chair doesn't move a whole lot. So you want it to be steady so it doesn't slide on the floor. So be sure you have a good, heavy, steady chair, or maybe it is sitting against a wall so it doesn't move. So I know that's a whole lot to start with, and the most important thing that we really need to think about in our chair yoga is to listen to your body and to know that this is your practice. And because we're all built differently and we all move differently, it all affects us differently and it all feels differently. So it's so important that you really listen to your body. And so let us get started. We're going to start seated and of course in a chair in your most comfortable position. So either sitting tall, or if you prefer that you're more comfortable, just kind of slouched back. That's okay for the beginning of the practice. I'll let you know when you need to straighten out your spine. So sit comfortably and close your eyes and just relax. So we're going to start with the heart of yoga, which is breath. And I think it's really important for you to close your eyes so that you can become aware of your breath. Our breath is so important, and it will help us through our practice today. We will let our breath guide our movement. It's important to use our breath through everything we do throughout our day. It is a gift that God gave us. He gave us life by breathing breath into us. So let us just breathe with our eyes closed, becoming more aware of what's happening as you breathe. So in yoga, we typically breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. So maybe let your breath, your inhale and your exhale, get just a little bit longer. So maybe your inhale is a 3 count or a 4 count, and your exhale is either 4 or 5 count. Maybe make it just a little longer. And then let us move into what I call a purifying breath. So you're going to inhale as deep as you can in through the nose, Long, deep inhale, feeling your belly expand. Inhale. Pause, and then exhale through your mouth all the old air out of your body. Again, inhale. And exhale. Continue this purifying breath in through the nose and out through the mouth as you relax your body, relax your thoughts, relax your mind. Let go of any negativity, anxiety, ugliness, clutter. Open up a space in your mind for yourself to become grounded in your being, in your soul, in your heart. Or maybe even listen to what your heart is speaking to you today. And if your heart is speaking something to you or your mind, maybe it's an intention that you can use to focus on for your practice. Sometimes an intention can be something as simple as showing grace to someone or forgiving someone that you need to forgive. Or maybe it's eating healthier. Whatever is coming to your mind, use that intention today to focus and to meditate. And if you're Christian, I'm Christian, I like to focus on our Lord Jesus and just invite that love and that peace and that comfort that comes from Jesus Christ. With every inhale, I invite that into my being, into my soul, into my mind and my body and my spirit. And with each exhale, maybe just get rid of any ugliness. Let us use our breath to guide us through our practice today. Let us return to normal breath in through the nose and out through the nose as we open our eyes and sit tall. Sit nice and tall, pulling your belly into your spine, always to protect your spine. Let's take our arms out long with our palms up. Inhale to float the hands up, and exhale, hands over heart center, and namaste. Inhale to float the hands up, and exhale, reach the arms out nice and long, let them come down to your seat. Inhale up, and exhale, maybe nod, hands over heart center. Inhale, maybe gaze up, and exhale, hands come down. And two more, inhale, and exhale, inhale, and exhale. Just rest your hands on your chair seat. Sit as tall as you can. If you need to scoot to the edge of your seat to remind you or to help you to sit taller, that's a good idea. Relax your shoulders down away from your ears and grow tall through the crown of the head. As we do a little neck stretch, side neck stretch, you're going to let your left earlobe fall towards your left shoulder with a heavy head. You can add to this stretch if you want. You can lift up your left hand and softly place it on top of your ear. And breathe. On the next breath, release, slowly lifting your head back up, sitting tall as you can. And before we do the other side, let's slowly look over our right shoulder with breath. Inhale to look over the shoulder, moving slowly with breath. And exhale, come back to the center. Let's sit tall again, relaxing your shoulders down away from your ears and growing through the crown of the head, pulling the belly into the spine. And let your right earlobe fall towards your right shoulder with a heavy head. And again, if you want more, you can lift that right hand up and just place it on top of your ear, as long as your spine is nice and tall. And breathe. Inhale on the exhale, slowly release, lifting your head back to the center as we slowly look over our left shoulder with breath. Inhale to look over the shoulder. And exhale to come back to the center. And now we're going to drop our chin to our chest, keeping our spine tall. Let your head be heavier. We're stretching the back of the neck. Just relax your shoulders, but keep your spine long. Pull your belly into your spine to protect it. And then from here, we're going to kind of let our spine go. So let your rib cage cave in. Let your head get a little heavier. Let your shoulders relax and breathe. Opening up the space between each vertebra as your spine rounds. Inhale, and on the exhale, this time we're going to slowly roll our chin up towards that left shoulder. And when you get there, sit as tall as you can. We're going to do very slow half neck circles. Inhale to drop the chin to the chest, rounding the spine. And on the exhale, slowly bring your chin up to your right shoulder and lengthen, grow tall through the spine. Let's do a few more of those. Inhale, slowly dropping the chin to the chest, rounding the spine. And exhale, bring your chin up to your left shoulder and grow tall through the spine. And one more. Inhale. And exhale. And bring your gaze back to the center, sitting tall once again. Next, we're going to do a seated cat and cow. So first we'll start with cow. Oh, you can hold on to your seat if you need to. Just be relaxed through the shoulders. And inhale as you hinge forward. Lift your gaze, lift your heart. If you can arch your back a little, just a little safely, go on and do so. And then as you move into seated cat, you're going to nod your chin and round your spine back. Inhale into seated cow. And exhale into seated cat. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. You can make your range of motion only as small or as big as it feels good for your body. And exhale. And come back to tall spine. Next, we're going to go into some upper body circles. So you can hinge like the cow pose as you come forward, and maybe round a little bit as you go to the back or not, depending on if you have any lower back issues. So here, we're just trying to gain some spine mobility, which is important for all that we do. So start small and gradually let your upper body circle get just a little bit bigger. Only rounding and lifting as much as it feels good for your spine. Maybe open your legs. It feels a little more comfortable for your back, if you're feeling it in your back, to open your knees away from each other. Let's switch the direction of our circles, but start small. And go slow. It's okay to go slower than what I'm doing. Slower is better in yoga. The slower you move a joint, the more tension you release, the more healing you will gain. So slow is good. But do use your breath. You can slow down your breath. It can be a little bit longer and deeper as we practiced in the beginning of our practice today. Inhale and one more big upper body circle and come back to the center. Let's do a few shoulder shrugs just to release any tension in the upper back. So as you shrug your shoulders up to your earlobes, inhale. And as you exhale, push your shoulders down away from your earlobes. Inhale up. And exhale down. Inhale up. And exhale down. And one more inhale and exhale. Let's go on and bring our shoulders up and then around to the back. So keep your heart and your gaze lifted as you do big, slow shoulder rolls, but only to the back. So a lot of what we do during the day, we have internal rotation. So we want to impose that by doing external rotation. Slow, big shoulder rolls to the back, opening up the heart relaxing the upper back. Inhale. Exhale, relax the shoulders down away from the ears. Sit nice and tall as we go into some side stretches. Take your left arm out to the side, palm up, reach up, up, up for strength, and over as much as it feels good for you for flexibility. Inhaling and exhaling, alternating side to side. Inhale and exhale. So chair yoga can be very challenging. Today, I'm going to try to keep it gentle with a few extra challenges for those that like a little extra challenge. But as you know, it's your practice, so you'll only do what feels good for your body. Inhale and exhale. And if you wish to have a chair yoga practice that is more challenging, we can do that at another time. But for today, we're going to keep it to a gentle practice. Inhale. And one more big side stretch. Inhale and exhale. Next, we're going to go into spinal rotation. So you're going to take your left hand to the outside of your right thigh, or maybe even your chair. Pull with that hand to get tall, and then slowly rotate around to your right. Maybe you take your right hand to the back of your chair to help you rotate a little bit more. Listen to your body here. Now, your spinal rotation is really more about breath. So breathe in, your inhale as deep as you can so you feel that lung and that rib cage just expand. Inhale and exhale, slowly come back around to the center. Grow tall again, and this time we'll rotate to the other side. Using your back of your chair at the side or at the top to help you get taller. Be sure to lift your gaze, lift your heart in your spinal rotation. And inhale deep. Inhale and exhale. And on the next breath, slowly come back around to the center. I hope you're enjoying this practice so far. I love chair yoga. I get just as much out of chair yoga as I do in the yoga on the mat. So, all right, now we are going to come to the fronts of our chairs, the very edge, as we go into staff pose. So we're going to start with a single leg staff pose, just to be sure that works for you and for your body. So you're going to straighten out your left leg. You're going to pull your toes up so just the heel is grounded. On the right leg, it's a 90-degree bend, so you don't want to tuck your toe under. You want your ankle under your knee. And you're going to sit as tall as you can, and you are in staff pose, seated. Now, if you want more, float your arms out long. If you have shoulder issues, just stay here and reach. Otherwise, if you want a little more, you can float your hands up towards the ceiling. Biceps come right over the ears. And then hinge 2 or 3 inches forward and just pause there and breathe for 3 breaths. Now, if you did want more of a challenging chair yoga practice, you could forward fold here. But today we're going to keep it gentle, so we'll just stay here. Inhale. And on the exhale, come back tall, drop your hands back down, slide your left foot back in. Do a couple of shoulder rolls just to become more aware of where your spine is, making sure that you're seated or sitting as tall as you can. Staff pose with the other leg straightening out your right leg. It's going to bend it a little, but do pull your toes up. Sit as tall as you can, and maybe you just stay here. This is staff pose. It's a great stretch. You should feel this down the back of your right leg. Maybe you want more, you can float your arms out, get a little stretch through the arms. Maybe stay here if you have shoulder injuries, or reach up, squeezing your ears with your biceps. Maybe you stay here, maybe you hinge 2 or 3 inches forward with a long spine. Pull your belly into your spine to protect your spine. And breathe 3 breaths here. On your inhale, you should feel the space between your vertebra and your spine expand. And then slowly release, drop your hands down, slide your foot back in. We're going to do a little seated butterfly. So staying on the edge of your chair, let the soles of the feet come together. Be sure you don't slide off your chair. You might have to scoot back a little. And then maybe you just softly press your knees away from each other. And then we can add to this by pulling our belly into our spine. Continue to pull the belly into the spine and breathe 3 breaths. Inhale, and on the exhale, release your seated butterfly or cobra. Separate your feet. Let's do a little bit of core work, warming up our core temperature. Bring your elbows into your waist with your palms up. You're going to reach all the way up. So we're going to go into moonflower seated. This is really all about your breath. So use your breath here to guide your movement, and it will warm up your whole core temperature, your body temperature. Inhale to take it in, and exhale to reach out. Inhale and exhale. If you have shoulder issues, you would just come out in front. Inhale and exhale. Otherwise, it's up towards the sky and exhale. Bring the hands up. Let's do some sunflowers. You're just going to make a sunflower with your hands. Inhale and exhale. Maybe you take it a little bit farther. Inhale and exhale. So any spine flexion you would not do if you have a lower back or herniated L4, L5. So you would stay tall. Inhale and exhale. And one more big sunflower. Inhale and exhale. Hands come over the crown of the head if your body allows. Prayer hands. Close your eyes. You are now in a mountain pose. Maybe you can reach your hands a little taller towards the ceiling. Pull your belly into your spine. Close your eyes and just be grounded, pressing the 4 corners of the soles of your feet into your mat as you become strong and sturdy like a mountain. Just be grounded here and breathe. If it hurts your arms to hold them up, bring your hands over your heart center. We have modifications for all of our moves in yoga. Inhale, and on the exhale, open your eyes and just relax. We're going to move into our warrior series. You can do the warrior series standing up and holding on to the chair. But for today, I'm focusing more on specific chair yoga for those that can't come out of the chair. So that's the way we're going to do our warriors today. Hopefully we'll do another practice in the near future where it'll be maybe a little more challenging without going down to the ground, but still using the chair. So with that said, I'm going to scoot back and I'm going to take my right foot out to the side so there's a 90-degree. So you can stay like this. This would be the more gentle position for warriors, or you can take it where you take your leg and straighten back and scoot back so behind your knee is on the edge of the chair. So this is a warrior stance here. So if you can get into the position, fine. If not, you can bring your knee a little bit farther. You can even bring it here. So whatever feels good for you. We're going to float our arms out long. We're going to gaze down our right arm here. And you're in warrior 2. Doesn't that feel good? And then we can take it into peaceful warrior, dropping your back hand down, flipping your front palm up and reaching up towards the ceiling. And breathe. And then come back to warrior 2 with long arms as we move into side angle. You're going to drop your front elbow to your knee, gaze down to your big toe, float your back hand up, and you are in side angle. Sometimes, if you want it more, you could go down to extended side angle, but today we're staying gentle, so I'll stay here. Inhale and exhale. It's important that you gaze down to your big toe to protect your neck. If you want it more, you could raise your gaze up towards your top hand. Either way will protect the neck, either the big toe or the top hand. And then come back into Warrior Two, reach your arms long and reset. As we move into Warrior One, you're going to take that back arm forward in front of your shoulder and reach both hands up. And breathe. So you're reaching for the ceiling here. Inhale, and on the exhale, come back into Warrior Two. And then release. Bring your hands down to the front of your chair. Reposition yourself. Bring your knees out in front. Come to your edge. Before we do Warriors on the other side, we're going to do a good morning stretch. So take your arms out long, and then you can stay here if you have any lower back issues. Otherwise, you would hinge so that your chest is parallel with the floor. Inhale and exhale. Now you can drop one hand down, or fingers, or a block, or use a pillow and float the other hand up. And come back to long arms. Drop the other hand down below. Float the opposite hand up, and then come back up. And then come back to your seated straddle split. Now we'll move to Warriors on the other side. So take your time, get in position. You can bend this knee. If this is not comfortable, you're going to turn your back foot out. You can come forward. I'll do my Warriors this way for those that can't really straighten their leg, and that's okay. So you're going to float your arms out long. You're looking down your left fingers. It's really important that your arms are long and parallel to the floor. Put your belly into your spine. And then we're going to move into Peaceful Warrior. So you're just going to drop your back hand down, flip your front palm up, and begin to reach up towards the ceiling. And breathe. Breathe in peace. Peaceful Warrior. 2 more breaths here. And then we'll move into our next Warrior. But first, come into Warrior Two to reset. As we move into side angle, you're going to drop that elbow to that knee. Reach your back hand up, and you're in side angle. Gaze down to your big toe, or if you want a little more, you can always gaze up to your top hand. Somewhere in between tends to keep the neck out of alignment with the spine. So we want to protect our neck. Now, maybe you want more. You can do an extended side angle or not. And breathe. Coming back into Warrior Two with long arms. Reach your arms nice and long. And then we're going to go in and take that back arm forward, only to reach up into Warrior One. And breathe. Inhale, and on the exhale, come back into Warrior Two, only to release and bring your knees back forward. Separate your knees and come to the edge of your chair. We're going to go into Goddess Pose. So in Goddess Pose, we reach our arms out to the side like goalpost. So your elbows are a 90-degree bend, right? This is Goddess Pose. Pull your belly into your spine and breathe. Now you can add to Goddess Pose if you wish by dropping your right hand down. Outside of your hand comes to the inside of your thigh, and the other hand reaches up and you add a twist. Gaze up. This is a great stretch. Inhale. Exhale, come back into your Goddess Pose. As we twist to the other side, dropping the left hand down, opening up that left knee, reaching the right arm up and rotating slightly. Inhale, and on the exhale, release. Come back to the center, bringing your feet together. We're going to go into Bound Eagle Arms. So take your arms out in front of your shoulders and reach. Reach so much that you feel a space open up between your shoulder blades. That's what you should feel as you reach your fingers away from your shoulders. You're going to take your left arm under your right, and reach your hands up. You can interlock 2 fingers, hands, whatever feels good for you. And then lift your elbows up and away from your chest and breathe. And you can add to this, you can take your left leg and cross it over your right if you wish. You can even wrap it around your ankle so it's a seated bound eagle, and breathe 3 breaths. The more you can lift your elbows and push them away from your body, the bigger the stretch. On the next breath, we're going to release. One thing about gentle yoga is we don't hold our poses too long. So inhale up and exhale, hands over the heart center. And this time, reach the hands up and circle all the way around until your arms are out in front of your shoulders. As we switch to the other side, taking the right arm under the left, lifting the hands and interlocking maybe your index fingers, maybe your pinkies, maybe neither, maybe your hands. Remember, it's your body, it's your practice. That's what I love about yoga, is we all move differently, so we all look differently. Lift the elbows up. You can stay here if you want to add the legs. Go on and cross your right leg over your left. Maybe wrap your ankle around, or your foot around your ankle. Lift your elbows, put your belly into your spine, and breathe. The next breath, slowly uncross the legs if they're crossed, uncross the arms, reach up and come down. All right, next what we're going to do, let me just check the time here. I don't want to take advantage of your time. I enjoy chair yoga so much I tend to go overtime because I just really love the way it feels on my body, and I hope you're enjoying it as much as I am. Next, what we're going to do is a seated pigeon. So this can be challenging for some, so I'm going to start with my legs slightly extended so that I can lift up that ankle on top of the knee. And then to get in the right position, and this is something you can work towards, you just try to get your heel in a little bit more. Maybe each time you do it, it gets a little bit easier. Ideally, you want this ankle under this knee. And then you can just do a little soft pressure here. You can also put your foot up on a block or something to help. That always helps. Or maybe you're just here, and that's okay. So it's important here that you feel the stretch and it feels good. Breathe. Sit tall, relax your shoulders, seated pigeon. On the next breath, we're just going to release as we switch to the other side. So I'll start with my legs slightly extended. My knee is bent a little bit. And sometimes you have to just go on your shin, and that's okay. You'll still feel the stretch. If that's all you can do, believe me, you'll feel that stretch. But if you can get a little higher, do so. And if you can slide your heel in a little or a lot, do so. You don't want your foot coming way back here. You always want to be able to see your toes. So here we go. Sit tall. Maybe soft pressure here. Just depends. Maybe you don't need it. Maybe you're just feeling it the way you are. Now, if you wanted more, you would sit really tall and bring your belly or your rib cage towards your calf. But go slow. Go very slow there. And release. Excellent. All right, now we're going to go into some more relaxation kind of stretches. We're going to start with some hip opening exercises or poses or movement. So you can lift up, say, your right knee, your foot is relaxed. Let's go on and just do some ankle circles here. So I want you to try to move your ankle bigger and slower and see how much better it feels. Feel the tension that is released just by slowing down that movement. And then switch directions. So I like to inhale and exhale with each circle. So that's a pretty slow circle. Bigger and slower is better here. Good, excellent. All right, now you're going to take your knee if you can, and you're going to circle it. So this is a small circle, and then maybe you get bigger. Be sure you're sitting tall, opening up that hip joint. So breath here is important because it helps you to relax the ligaments and the tendons and the muscles that need to relax to get the benefit of this move. So as you slow down your movement and relax your leg, you'll feel your hip joint just relax a little more, releasing maybe some synovial fluid. If you can't lift your knee, then maybe you just do circles with the ball of your foot. You're just trying to move that hip joint. Let's go on and switch to the other side. If you can lift up your knee slightly or a lot, whatever works for you. I like to hold on to my knee to sit tall. Let's do those ankle circles in slow motion. Inhaling and exhaling with each circle. Switch directions. Maybe you continue to switch directions, or you do all one way and then all the other way. It's important to get both directions. And it helps to let you know how to relax your leg. Relax your foot, relax your leg, and begin those knee circles. Start really small and slow. Inhaling and exhaling with each knee circle. And if you can't lift, maybe you have knee issues or a hip replacement, you can do circles with the ball of your foot, but go slow. So you'll feel that joint movement, releasing that synovial fluid. Be sure to switch the direction of more circles. Inhale and exhale. One more big circle, and then we'll just relax that leg right there. Now, boat pose is something we do in yoga. How do you do that on the chair? Well, you don't really lift your legs and your arms when you're sitting in the chair because it could hurt your back. So all we do is lift up our arms. This is boat pose. Now, if you want it more, you can maybe lift one leg, but I would not lift both. I like to just pull my belly into my spine and reach here, sitting as tall as you can in boat pose. So if you're pulling your belly into your spine, then you're strengthening the core, which is the purpose behind the boat pose. So pull your belly into your spine and breathe 3 breaths here. Inhale and exhale. Relax your hands on your shoulders. And by the way, if you have shoulder issues and you wanted to do boat pose, you could just hold on to the back of your chair and pull your belly into your spine, and that would be your modification. So whenever you have shoulder issues, you don't want to go above the shoulder, but you can always use the back of the chair. All right, next, what about child's pose? Well, how do we do that in the chair? In the chair, we want to accomplish what we accomplish on the mat in child's pose, and that is a rounding of the spine and opening up between the vertebra and the spine in a very relaxed way. So child's pose, you could actually sit back a little bit, just open your knees a little bit, tuck your chin. We kind of did it when we just did the spine stretch. So tuck your chin and let your eyes go to your belly, and you're in a child's pose. If you wanted to extend it, you could slide your hands down your shins toward your ankles. So a true child's pose in the chair is like a rag doll hanging down with the crown of your head facing your toes. I don't think that's a very gentle pose for a gentle chair yoga. So if you're in that gentle mode, just sit there and protect the spine. Round it, let it feel good, let your head be heavy, and breathe. And then slowly round back up to tall spine. Now there is another yoga pose that is very restorative. It's called legs up the wall, but that's kind of hard to do if you're sitting in a chair. However, the purpose of legs at the wall is to take all the weight off of your legs. So if you have another chair, excuse me, I'm just going to stand up and grab a chair so I can show you. You would get a chair, maybe even something lower, if it hurts for you to put your feet back on a chair. So the whole idea of legs up the wall is for your legs to be weightless. So find a way for your legs to be weightless here, and then just relax. We're about to move into Savasana, final relaxation. So you can also move the chair a little bit closer so that your calves are supported or the backs of your knees are supported, and then they're really weightless. You can even put blocks under your knees and just relax. That's what Savasana is all about. Because the more that you can relax, the more energy that will flow through your body and the more healing and peace you will have in your mind, body, and spirit. It all comes from that relaxation. So let's go into final Savasana. You can have your legs up the wall, or if you don't have another chair available, you would just sit as comfortable as you can. Maybe you put the pillow behind your back. Maybe you put the pillow under your feet. And maybe you just slouch. Just get in the most comfortable position you can that is safe for your spine and your body. And close your eyes like you're just going to fall asleep. And get into a very relaxed position. Close your eyes as we go into Savasana, final relaxation. Relaxing the mind, and the body, and the spirit. Relax your breath. Relax your thoughts. And breathe. Take this time for yourself to just be. And I'll go through the different body parts to help you relax your body as you work on relaxing your mind and your spirit. Relax your toes and the balls of your feet, the arches of your feet and your heels, your Achilles tendons, your ankles, your calves, the backs of your knees, the backs of your thighs, even your buttocks. Just let them melt into your chair. Just relax. Relax your back, your lower back, and your middle back, and your upper back, and your shoulders. Can you relax your shoulders just a little more? Relax your arms, the insides of your elbows, the insides of your wrist, the palms of your hands. Flip your palms up so that you can really relax your fingers. Let them just fall where they naturally fall. And if your palms are up and you relax your thumbs a little more, you'll feel your shoulders relax more. Relax your hip bones, your pelvis and your belly, even your rib cage and your chest and your neck. Relax your scalp and all the muscles in your face. Let go of the tension in your face. Relax your forehead, eyebrows and your eyelids, your cheekbones and your nose, your chin, even your ears and your earlobes. Relax your teeth, unclench them, let them part. Let your tongue fall away from your teeth. Relax your lips, your mouth, and just be. Just be in the moment and breathe. Be aware of your breath here. In this relaxed state, let's move into the purifying breaths we did in the beginning of our practice. Inhaling as deep as you can and as long as you can, in through the nose, all the way down deep into your belly. And pause. only to exhale all the old air out of your mouth, and a long exhale, renewing the old air for new air. Inhale deep in through the nose. Make a shh sound as you exhale. And one more purifying breath. Inhale deep. And long exhale through the mouth. And return to normal breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Keeping your eyes closed, let's open up our hearts. Open up your heart and let your heart be filled with love. Love for yourself, love for others, and love of the unlovable. May your hearts be filled with grace and with gratitude. And most of all, may your hearts be filled with peace. Let us pray for peace in our world. It all starts in our own hearts. May you have hearts filled with peace. And I pray for you and your heart and your world, that you would have peace and a heart of forgiveness and love. And with your eyes closed in this relaxed state, I'd like to open up this time for prayer request. So if you have any prayers, maybe you just yell them out, maybe you just speak them, maybe you type them in. We are all here in spirit, and when two or more are gathered in his name, he will be there. So let us pray for each other. And now let us open our eyes and sit tall once again. Take your arms out long with your palms up. I hope you enjoyed the practice today, and I hope you feel renewed and restored. I welcome any comments, whatever they are, anything that needs to be changed, good, bad, whatever, because this practice is for you. So I need to know what works for you. So let me know. And I hope that you can use this practice in the future to continue doing chair yoga. And just write any comments that you need to get to me, and I will hear those. Inhale to float the hands up. Exhale, hands over heart center. Peace be with you, and namaste.
Thank you, Karen. And yes, Jean, and also if you wanted to share the video, they're in Facebook, but also YouTube as well. And any of you who will be joining us later who didn't make the live time, you can always come back to this video and do this practice anytime. That's what's amazing about it. And you can share it with your friends and loved ones too. So you can always, these are on the YouTube channels as well as preserved on Facebook. So thank you so much, Karen. That was awesome. And I'll close this with the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll be back next Friday, 9 a.m. Look forward to seeing all of you there. And if y'all show some love and some appreciation in your feeds for Karen, who led us amazingly today. Thanks, everybody.